Okay, I don't know if I'm live yet, but hopefully I am. Hopefully I am. Hello, everybody who's here already. I don't think that I am yet. Trying to check the both of the websites. There we go. All right, cool. Let me check Facebook. It's gonna echo. Sorry. Websites. All right. Facebook, live on Facebook. Refreshing YouTube. I do not see anything on YouTube, which is freaking me out a little bit. I'm gonna post a Snapchat. All right, so you can go ahead and send in your tracks, guys. Anyone who's been here before knows what they're doing. Anyone who's never been here before, you're basically going to post your links in the chat, and I will be selecting them at random. I'm trying to focus on getting all the chats up and everything, which seems to be a little bit more frustrating than it should be. All right, cool. I see it. All right, cool. Thanks. Nice. All right. Sorry, that took way too long.
Dear entrepreneur, remember this. You can only
And
fail
I'm getting an ad.
if you quit.
Oh, I'm at my own. Okay, nice. All right. Sorry, that took. Okay, guys, what's up? How are we doing today? I want you guys to submit your tracks and throw them in the chat for me. Throw them in the chat for me. I'll be selecting them at random. At the end of the stream today, guys, we have a banging pack for you, for one of you. Sorry, it's a giveaway. So you got to go over to Facebook, share and like the stream, and you will be getting, if you get chosen, EDM Effects 2017, and I can show you if we have it on our Facebook page. It'll be this one right here. So I'm gonna give you guys a minute to post your tracks.
What about making your sound better?
Not seeing any effects. Not seeing any tracks in Facebook, so I'm just gonna start picking from YouTube then. All right, I'm gonna grab. This is the first one that I see. But yeah, guys, one of you guys is gonna be getting EDM Effects 2017. 2.5 gigabytes of effects, stems, FX one shots, impacts, uplifters, and fills. So a lot of stuff. And I personally have been using this pack a lot the last couple of days, and it is great. So I recommend, even if you don't win it today for free, go in to pick it up because it's well worth it. So let's get this first track in here for feedback. This is a YouTube link. Facebook, I am sorry, and I'm going to mention this like I do every single stream. Facebook's chat seems to lag out for me. And I can't always get, for some reason, I can't always get links in. And even though they're being sent in, I'm not seeing them. So if you are having trouble with your track getting skipped, or and I keep constantly saying I can't see links, try to hop over to YouTube and throw them in there because they come through like crazy quick for me on YouTube. So I'm gonna check back on. All right, I got one link from Facebook that I see so far. I'm probably wrong, but that's the only link I see is one. All right, here we go. All right. It's actually a great track. Only thing that I noticed is and I noticed this a couple days ago. I said that a lot of people's low ends were really kind of not there. On this headset, I have to turn on my profile technically of what I have it set as, which is surround sound stuff like that. So I apologize if I said your low end was too low. Today I have it fixed, so I know that for a fact the low end on this is a little not too low, but too, I guess, too quiet, and I can't feel it enough. I feel like if you pumped it up just a little bit and upped your side chaining a tad, you would have no problem. And I think the only thing I had a problem with when it came to drums was the clicks and like the snaps over the snares. I don't know if it was a clap at all, or if it was actually like a click or a snap of the fingers or whatever it was. It should either be, if it's going to be layered, it should either accent it, be a pre-up to the snare, or be a just an accent where you hardly hear it, but it's there to emphasize frequency. So either turn it down, get rid of it, or pre-up it. That way, it's not like really noticeable, because it sounds to be. I mean, I hear the snare, but I feel like it's taking over. Other than that, I really like the vibes of this a lot. So I can't wait whenever you release this, man. Thank you for submitting the track. Head over to Facebook, share the live stream for a chance to win EDM effects. I'm going to take the only link that I see on Facebook. The only link that I see on Facebook is this one as of right now. This is the only link that I see on Facebook. Every time I click back over, it refreshes. Every time I manually refresh it, it does a little echo thing. But this is the next track. This is from Facebook link. Let's get into it. Okay, so the only thing that a couple things that I noticed. Your mix down overall is great. You posted it in the description that sounds a little bit too compressed. Yeah, a little bit. A little bit, but not too much. The only issue that I saw was that your introduction is a solid 2 minutes long. Your intro is actually great, and it's constantly keeping me engaged in it. But I only personally skipped because I wanted to see where the drop came through. I would just cut it down. I don't know what you could necessarily cut out of it because all of it's kind of engaging. So I think that you have to figure out a way to make it a tad bit shorter. And the only way I can think to do that is to not loop things so much, to try to keep stuff on an 8-bar basis. 16 measure basis to where it loops twice and then you move on to the next part of it. And every measure you add an element. That's kind of what I like to do whenever I do songs, so it's not too crazy long of a track. 4 minutes and 30 seconds is not long. When it's like 5 to 6 minutes, it's like a ballad and it's difficult to listen to because all of it's kind of just looped and repeated. So try to make sure if you're going to make a long track to change some stuff up, which I'm not saying you didn't do, I'm just saying make sure you do. And the drop in maybe the second half, I would up an octave on some sort of synth so it's not kind of the monotone sounding lo-fi synth that you have going through. I said lo-fi, I didn't mean lo-fi, I meant low frequency. And then other than that, your mix down overall was pretty good. I think your side chaining is a little weak. It should be a little higher. Your drums sound great. Your effects are pretty good. But we can help you with that. If you head over to Facebook and you share the stream, you may get a chance to win EDM Effects 2017. And we can send you it and help you out with your effects if you need to. And if you guys don't end up winning that pack today, make sure to head over to the website and grab a copy yourself. But thank you for sending the track in, man. That was my only Facebook track or Facebook link that I saw personally. When I go back to select another one, I will let you know if there's another one there. I have only me do I have trouble seeing links, but I just got notice that we're gonna try to find a new way to collect links. So you have to bear with the difficultness of this right now. So next stream we should hopefully have a different way to collect links. Next track, YouTube link. Okay, not bad. I actually like. There's a part in here I like a lot, and I want to know. I'm not gonna be able to see in the chat because the chat's gonna be roaring. And I'm not gonna be able to see it, but I'm really interested. I, as a sound designer, I've been trying to find a way to make a flute sounding synth that sounds actually more like a flute and not a synth, which I feel like has become impossible for me because I can't. I've tried so many times and I've gotten really close, but I just can't. So if you made this preset, if it's a flute, like an actual flute recording, then, I mean, kudos on finding it. And kudos on keeping the tracking key whenever you found it. If it is a preset and you did make it, I'm jealous because I really want to make one. So I like that part a lot. Overall, when it comes to like your drop or anything else, your drums overpower the mix a little too much, which is good that your drums overpower the mix. They're kind of supposed to. They're kind of supposed to be the first thing you hear. It's kind of like when you're playing a video game. I always reference this. When you're playing a video game and you're shooting a gun, the first thing you hear, or the thing that overpowers everything, no matter what scenario you're in, is your gun. So your drums need to be referenced like your gun. So basically, your drums need to overpower everything, but if it overpowers it too much, it's difficult to hear the rest of the elements. Now, I'm not saying your elements are too low. I'm just saying to bring them up a little bit. And your chord that you had kind of pulsing behind there, I'd add some high end on that to fill out all the spectrum, because the track sounds like it's kind of mid to low. The only thing that's high ranged is going to be your cymbals. So try to put some since the track is private, I'm imagining it's not released yet, so go back and maybe touch up some of the high ends of the track, raise them a little bit in the chords, that way you're feeling at the spectrum, makes it feel more full. And make sure add some stereo width. If you actually download our plugin Pumper, I use the stereo imager on that all the time, and that's not a pitch for just us to get Pumper. That's actually legitimate. I have downloaded several stereo imaging plugins, and I feel like Pumper just kind of beefs up your mix at the same time. So I feel like it's a whole lot. Like even if you're just putting it on chorus, it's gonna beef it up a little bit. But overall, great track. Side chaining was pretty good. Just make sure to amp up your elements so it's kind of semi-matching the drums, and the drums aren't too overpowering. And then put some high end on that chord, and you should be good from then. And YouTube, people who are putting your links in YouTube, I actually did not know this, and this makes me sound like a newbie when it comes to streaming, which I semi-am. I can freeze the chat. That means that I can somewhat go in order of tracks you sent in. So every track that you're listening to is in order in which I see the links from the very top of the stream to the very bottom. The track is no longer moving because it's not freaking out on me. I'm going back to Facebook right now to look for another link. And this is the third or second, I think the second link. No. This is the second link that I see on Facebook. So if you've posted a link before this link, come on over to YouTube and post it in, because I'm getting their links a lot better than I'm getting Facebook links. And as I mentioned, we are currently thinking of a new way for you guys to send in your tracks. It may be during an email list type of thing where you can submit it to an email. That'll be so much easier to keep a little bit more organized on my end, at least, because all these links coming in, it's hard to know exactly which one came in what order. But since I can freeze the chat on YouTube, I'm able to see exactly what order to come in. By the way, whoever just sent in that last track, thank you for tuning in. Make sure to go over to Facebook, share the stream for a chance to win EDM Effects 2017 for free. Picking one lucky winner at the end of the stream within 5 minutes of the end of the stream. Whoever shares the track. All right, Black Bee. Let's go. Why does it do this? All right, I actually like the vibes of that song. The only thing, I know it's a work in progress, so there's actually some things you can go back and just touch up. The overall mix down is a little bit muddy. Everything kind of sounds like it's all one volume. So do some better, not better, but do some more mix down. The live instrumental bass you have in there, the slap bass you have in there, honestly in the beginning sounded good. It sounds a little too loud. I would lower that just a smidgen. But I would actually add some sub behind all that, because even music producers who produce live instruments, they still, even when a bass is playing, they still add a sub bass frequency, because I understand that the bass is an instrument. That's an actual bass. I get that. But I know you're probably, if you're playing the bass, awesome. If you're not, and it's just like maybe FL Slayer, and it's just the bass preset, or you got a free bass plugin, or a bass plugin in general, or it's a sample, either way. Adding some low end to accent that makes it a little bit more powerful. Lower the volume so it's not too overtaking. And maybe cut it out towards the chorus. I'm not going to say drop because it's not necessarily drop, but the chorus part of this that I heard, maybe it'll either take it out or lower it. I would honestly, if it were me doing this song, I would take it out and do a pulsing sub to put behind everything to accent it. It makes everything sound a little bit more fluent, and it makes it not too repetitive with that slap bass. your drums sounded great. Your sidechaining could be a little bit higher. When I say higher, I mean dip in a little bit more frequency grab. So just if you have a little knob that you turn to go, oh, this is a little bit more sidechain, it mutes the track this much, turn up just a little bit. I know I work in Ableton, so I know that I use the compressor to do it, so it's a whole lot easier. I don't do very well in sidechaining on FL. So if you're using FL Studio, I'm sure there's something. I know there's something you can do with a limiter if you're using a limiter to sidechain. Other than that, the track sounded great. I understand it's a work in progress, so I'm not going to get on you a little too much because I know you're not done with it. Just that slap bass is a little too repetitive, so I would either lower the volume to begin with, add some sub bass behind that, and in the chorus part, either eliminate it and add a pulsing sub that pulses with a chord if you can add one or if you don't have one already, or turn it down and add some sub behind it again. But Black B, thank you for submitting the track, man. Head over to Facebook, which I think I grabbed this from Facebook, and share the stream for a chance to win EDM Effects 2017 today for free. Two things I want to apologize about. My voice, if I keep like sniffling in, is because I'm having issues with sinuses, and it's not fun. So, all right. And another thing is my chair is really, really crappy, and it creaks every time I even like breathe in and out. So if you hear some crackly in the background, that's probably my chair, and I apologize for that. This is another YouTube link. I'm literally going right in order. And if you go back up in the stream, you'll know that I'm going right in order.
You were nice enough, and I was bored, needed some fun. But then you crossed the line, so I decided to move on, tell your ass goodbye. But now you acting up, you're telling all our friends I suck. You're posting pics with your new girl, you're trying hard to make me jealous. Big boy, kicking up dust. See me, see you up in the club. See me, grab your girl, start making out. French kiss in my face. Big boy, you think you're so dope. Try your best, make me lose sleep, but I won't. Hit hard, get a rise from me. You should know that I don't.
Yeah.
Very unique. And the drop, the only thing, honestly, kudos. Mixed down overall is really great. Mastering sounds on key. When I meant on point. The drums, only thing I have a problem with so far. Everything else sounds great. I don't have really anything to fix on anything else except for in your drums, you have these things that are kind of like ad-libs for human, but it's ad-lib drums, which are like the clicks or the toms that come in every ear or fills that come randomly in the middle of the track. If it's not a transition, I wouldn't have them too loud, only because I feel like they distract. Drums, only drum I have a problem with that's too loud. That's a main drum. Is your snare is a little bit too slappy and too loud. I like the snare overall, but I would just maybe crank down that volume, crank down that compression just a smidgen, and it should be fine. Just the ad-libbing and the fills you have in there with the drums are a smidgen too loud. They're really overpowering, and I understand you want to be able to hear them, but you don't want them to take over all that much. Since they are technically classified as effects, they need to accent. They don't need to take over. So try to bring them down just a little bit. Everything else sounds great. I really love this intro right here.
Yeah.
That part right there, I love that. So great job on that. Your chords sound great. Everything else sounds great. Just try to crank down that effects a little bit on the fills and any kind of miscellaneous drum effects you have in there. Other than that, man, thank you for sitting in the track. Head over to Facebook, share the stream for a chance to win EDM Effects 2017 for free. And this is a Facebook link. I'm getting a question from a person named Sonia, and I've seen her like several times in the chat on Facebook. I can't see your link whatsoever. This is the third Facebook link that I can see. I'm going from the bottom up, from the very beginning of the chat to the top of the chat, and that's all I can see. So if your link's not coming through, try to come over to YouTube and send it to me that way, because I can't see it on Facebook's end. Track not found. Did I do something wrong? Maybe it was a bit okay. Well, I will go to another Facebook link since that technically doesn't qualify. Alright, I'm seeing a tad bit more links now. A tad bit more on Facebook, but I don't know exactly where to begin. Okay, I'm going back down the bottom. This is literally from the bottom that I can see. It may not actually be from the bottom, but this is as far as my eye can see on. This is as far as Facebook's letting me see. Is this track right here? It like refreshed my stream and deleted a lot of it. Okay, so this is the next one. This is Facebook link. Here we go.
DIG, STF Production. King Моzzarella. Ага. Мы сделаем то, что положено, то, что кровью нами заложено. Видимо, ты обезвожена, сегодня ты будешь уничтожена. Мы DIG, с нами не шути, братва, не спите. Наше начало в Ташкент-Сити, так что ловите, мы на репите, салют, Питер. Нам мало жара, много мало. На голову нам упало, что не раз нас убивало. Ты кричи своим бокалом, тебя спросим от бокала. Наша мера без предела, давай с нами атмосфера.
So the overall mix on that synth that you have going that entire time, that lead, it's a little muddy. And it's honestly a little too loud. I would bring down that element because your drum sounds like you have to warp it in order to get it to go through. Drum warping is a sign of EQing that didn't go very well. It's just upping too much on the low, what am I trying to think of? Low bass. There's bass and there's low bass. Low bass is like, low. If you bring that up too much, then you EQ the just the bass up a little bit. It causes it to whip up like that and warp. And that's what it sounds like your kick is doing. I could be completely wrong. It could be exactly what the kick is supposed to sound like. If so, I don't like using kicks like that. I like using really punchy, slappy kicks, especially for even trap, because I feel like it cuts through easier. And on this synth that you have going, it doesn't sound like it changes at all. Like there's no pitch modulation. It doesn't sound like it changes. So what I would do is I would go back, and if you can go back and try to adjust some pitch modulation, and maybe adjust some frequency, maybe add an accent, maybe add a pluck, maybe add something behind it, to give it a little bit more zealous. And maybe, is it really panned as well? Stereo imager on it's really, I guess, a little bit too wide for a detuned saw lead. It's basically all it sounds like it is to me. It sounds like it's a little too wide for that. I feel like when it comes to that, that's going to technically be a mid, so it needs to be somewhere, instead of being in my ears, it needs to be somewhere like up here. Because if anybody knows what I'm talking about, when it comes to hearing things that are stereo imaged, you can tell, you can kind of hear it here, and it kind of goes all the way down. It's hard to explain. But if I'm hearing it way too much in just my ears and not anywhere else in the spectrum, so I would try to bring that up, instead of being so stereo width wide, bring it a little bit more narrow. Like basses are supposed to be in the center, mids are supposed to be right here, and everything else is supposed to be semi within this range here. It's hard to explain. I'd have to show you a stereo imager in order to be able to explain it to you, and I don't have the time for that. So just try not to make it so stereo wide is all I'm really trying to say. And maybe not make it so loud, and maybe up your side chaining a tad bit, because it sounds like you're having to warp your kick through in order to get it to come through, which is never good. And maybe if that's how your kick is supposed to sound, choose a new kick, because I feel like it doesn't really fit. Other than that, man, thank you for sending in the track. Make sure to share the stream on Facebook for a chance to win EDM Effects 2017 today at the end of the stream. Next is a YouTube link. And I will go back to Facebook and find the link that I can. Mind you, I went back to find new links. Facebook decided to refresh my chat, and a lot of the links that I saw before are no longer there. So, I usually fail to say this in the beginning of the stream, but since we have a solid 30 minutes to go, 28 minutes to go, you can constantly spam your tracks. There's no guarantee I'm going to get to you. I'm trying to go somewhat in order now, which I understand may seem unfair, DJ Fiesta, that I mess up your track. I feel like I did. Let me check the link. You were here last stream, so I know you have a track to send in. I will go to a new one. I apologize if I messed it up. If not, then I don't know what happened. Did I mess it up? I'm looking at the link right now. I'm gonna recopy it and paste it. I would go down to see if you're correcting the way that I'm doing this, but I don't want to end up losing. I don't want to end up losing where my place is, so I won't go down. I'll just move on to the next one. I apologize sincerely. If you remove the track, then you remove the track. Can't help you there. But if I did something wrong, I apologize ahead of time. Another YouTube link. Here we go. Okay, Jason. Actually, I like tracks like this a lot. I love melodic sounding, really catchy, really progressive kind of tracks, like especially when it's progressive house. These are the type of progressive house tracks that I like. So I'm glad you sent it to me. This waveform is very, 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 very full. And usually that means that you have all the spectrum filled, which kudos on that, but it also may mean that something's overcompressed. So maybe your mixdown. Your mixdown is a little, not loud, but it's a little full. And your elements behind your drums don't seem like they're loud enough. So if you have any type of distortion or anything, it's going to lower its volume naturally a little bit. So turn down that distortion just a smidgen so your elements can come up and fulfill the drum spectrum as well, so the drums don't overpower it too much. I always say drums are supposed to overpower it, not too much, because if they do, then it just sounds like you have like you remixed something and didn't turn up the volume. So try not to have your drums overpower it too much. That way you can, what am I doing? That way you can, sorry, my throat's like, hey, take a drink. So my reaction was, just make sure your drums don't overpower it too much. But your side chaining sounds good. You have a very good low frequency that I can hear. You have, your lead is very catchy, very, very, very prominent, which is great. That's really the only thing that I have, is to make sure that your elements are all in a good mix down. Your mix sound is the only thing I have a problem with. Other than that, everything sounds fantastic. So thank you for submitting the track, man. This was YouTube, so head over to Facebook and grab yourself a share. Share the stream so you get yourself a chance to win EDM Effects 2017 today at the end of the stream. Did I copied a link. And they specifically told me to add the period. Again, I went back to Facebook, and you would never believe what happened. The stream reset again, and all the stuff, I was literally going to go up, because there was a link right after the one I had just posted. Excuse me. And Facebook had refreshed my chat again. This is Windows 10. Over here. It had refreshed my chat again, so now everything's reset. So I recommend anyone who's sending me links on Facebook and it's getting erased, come over to YouTube and drop your link in, because Facebook's not letting me look at it. I said this is Windows. I didn't read the title. Windows Remix. Gotcha. All right, Jester. Yeah, Jester. Oh, I get it. The plus sign is a T. Gotcha, cool. This drop is a really... I don't know if it's a white noise added behind the lead, or if it's a serum patch and you just turned up the noise too much, or you're using a serum patch and you don't know exactly what the difference of the noise, why the noise oscillator is there. I'm going to try to kind of explain what happened if it's the serum patch. What happened in the serum patch is you did not adjust either the loudness, the key, or something that has to do with the noise oscillator, and it's overpowering the main oscillator, A or B. If it's just an effect you added in the background, then turn it down a little bit, because it's a little too loud. If it's accidental and not on purpose and it's due to mix down, we have... Well, I mean, there's a couple things you can kind of do. I guess you can either try to find it or remake the preset if you made it yourself. If you didn't, try to do some high-end or a high cut so that you're cutting at the high end on that one instrument, not over the entire track, because then the track will just sound like a blob. Just try to do it over that one synth. Your introduction is a little bit too long. This is a little bit too repetitive over here. And I understand this is a Windows remix, but I wouldn't have this entire Windows opening theme song, quote unquote, play right here because it's really out of tune. I would have either upped the octaves to make it, or the semitones to make it somewhat in key, or tried to adjust that to make it somewhat in key, or like faded it in, faded it out to make it some sort of meme-ish. But right here it was a little too long before you drop his, kind of anticlimactic when the drop hit because it took way too long to get there. But in the drop necessarily, your drums sound okay. Your side chanting's not loud or intense enough, so I would up that. You need a sub bass behind it because I understand you have that mid offbeat bass, which needs to be turned down because that's overpowering the main synth. Turning that down will accent it and give it the rhythm. Turning up that main synth, but high cutting that out so that fuzzy white noise sound isn't there. If you can't get rid of it, will make that synth more prominent. And add some chords in there as well. Whenever the behind, I don't know if you had a horn or not. No, you had a solid saw. If you're gonna add a saw, it's gonna be your introduction or your down. When it's dubstep, they call it a downshifter bass, which is basically the first bass you hear in a drop. I'm going to call this a downshifting synth. It's the first noise you hear when the drop hits. So if that's going to be how you're going to open your drop, you want to make sure it's detuned, maybe 10 voices. If you're going to do it, wants to be fat and crazy and like in your face. It needs to be, if you're using Serum, A oscillator needs to be 16 voices. Turn down the detuned about 0.15. This is how I make my chords, by the way. B oscillator needs to be just the default saw. It needs to be 16 voices and turned down to 15, maybe 12 on that one because that's a little bit more voices. And that'll be like crazy in your face whenever it hits, and that'll sound really cool with this. So make sure to go back and fix the things that I mentioned, man. Thank you for submitting the track. You're on Facebook already. This is a Facebook link. Make sure to share the stream for a chance to win EDM Effects 2017. Today, at the end of the stream, we're doing that within 5 minutes left of the stream. Moving on to the next track. This is a YouTube link. YouTube link.
Best Buy believes you shouldn't need a PhD to work your printer, especially in your first semester. The wireless, effortless HP Envy 4520 is only $29.99 when you buy any HP PC at Best Buy. Tech to impress. Details at bestbuy.com.
Don't you just love that? This is a little low. All right, only thing I have for you to fix, just to be really fast feedback session. 1, I personally don't like introductions that lead with a build up and then lead with an intro, then lead with a build up and then have a drop. I don't like those. I don't know why. I feel like if you're gonna get me pumped up and excited for in the very beginning of a track, you should at least have something that's kind of intense after that. But I'm not saying you have to delete it. I'm just saying I get frustrated when this happens. I think it's just because when I hear a build up, I'm used to something intense happening, and since it dipped down into something nice, which I'm not mad about the mix sound at all. Mix sound overall was great. Low end was there. You know, your stereo width was great. Your lead was prominent. Your kicks and everything was mixed well. Sidechain was good. Had chords. Everything like that. It was all good. I just don't like the pre-intro build-ups. I just don't like. That's just my personal opinion. But yours isn't like obnoxiously too hype to where it's like, okay, there should really be something better after this, because the track after that's pretty good. So I'm not too mad about it. Only thing that like it you can tell it went straight from 100 volume to nothing right here, because there is not a single waveform sitting there and here, not a single one. What I would do instead of making the volume just cut off is, if you're going to do that, have a tail up. So basically, if you get a chance to win EDM Effects 2017, and even if you don't win it, head over and grab it anyway, you can find that we have some effects that basically are good for transitions. So basically, when you're doing, if you don't know how to do, like I have really hard time with transitions. I never know how long to make them, or if I made them too long, or if they're not good enough. What I would try to do, per se, is if you're going to have the volume cut, sometimes it's effective, but have something towards like the last couple seconds of it to at least give it some sort of something. You know what I'm saying? Just some sort of transition, because it just sounds like you literally... Some people are going to argue the point. I know you didn't do this. Some people are going to argue the point that, oh, this whole intro here sounds like one track. This second part sounds like another track, and this one sounds like another. It's like you mix 3 tracks together, dude. No, I know you didn't do that. I would just try to fix your transitions. That's really the only thing I have for you to do. That was a whole long spiel when I could have just told you to fix your transitions. That's all you have to do, is add something more to your transitions. Other than that, man, thank you for submitting the track over to Facebook. Share the stream for a chance to win EDM Effects 2017. If you don't get a chance to win it today, you can always go to our store and grab it. I don't remember when it released. It released a couple days ago. It's very, very good. Looking for a Facebook link. Please check my link. I believe me, I want to do. I can't. I'm gonna count how many I see for you. 5. And I can't scroll down. I can't scroll up. I always thought it was, oh, maybe you're not scrolling up far enough and the chat's not reloading. It's not how it is. It's just not showing me. I don't understand the problem. But we're finding a new way. So anyone who's here now, by the way, if you ever want your track reviewed outside of a stream, you can head over to Pump Your Sound. There's an option. Or no, actually, it's not even that. I'm pretty sure it's submit@pumpyoursound.com. You could send your tracks there, and they come to me, and I'll give you feedback. That's you can do outside of the stream. Or you can follow us on Snapchat and send me like little 10-second demos, and I give you a little bit of feedback on that too, because I can only type so much. I give you a tiny bit of feedback. I'll tell you if I like it or not. I have a lot of people who are following me on there right now, abusing that feature, not abusing it, quote unquote, but sending me a lot of demos, which is great because I love hearing them. So follow us on Snapchat. You can send me all the demos you want. I think it's submit@pumpyoursound.com. You can send me your track outside of the stream, and it's a guaranteed review then. So just try to keep that in mind as well. We're finding a new way to be able to do sending tracks in, so it's a whole lot more efficient. That was really unique. The MIDI or the melody you have is really unique. Only thing that I have a problem with so far is your effects is a tad bit too overpowering and too frequent. Really only in this beginning part is it like slapping you in the face too loud. Just turn it down a little bit. I'm glad you actually sidechained it. A lot of people don't, so I'm glad you did. Your mix sounds a little bit too muddy. Your mix sound overall, your mastering sounds a little bit too muddy. So go back and try to fix that a little bit. Try to up your highs a little bit more because it sounds the highs sound a little bit too muted. But your lows, everything like that, are all very, very well mixed. I'm glad you had a sub bass in here somewhere that was really good. That's really well mixed. That's really there. It's just the mids are a little too prominent, lows are a little too prominent, highs aren't prominent enough. So make sure if you're going to mix something up to bring them somewhat on the same level. With electronic music, usually people like to up their lows a lot higher than, not a lot higher, but a little bit higher than their mids and their highs. But their mids and the highs are somewhat going to be on the same level. If you're using Maximus, I think it's what it's called. I could be completely wrong. If you're using Maximus in FL Studio, I usually just bump my lows up higher than my mids and my highs, but mids and my highs aren't that much off of another, and my kick isn't too much higher. My lows aren't too much higher than, the overall mix down. So just make sure that your highs are still up to par with your mids, because I feel like if your mids are too high, it's going to overpower all the highs, and it's just not going to mesh well. So the only thing I would have you fix is that. Everything else sounded great. And your effects were too loud. So turn on your effects. Your drums sounded good. Your MIDI, I always say MIDI, melody was was great. It was really unique. Your kick, I don't know, maybe it was a little too muddy in here somewhere. And maybe just been the kick you selected and how you EQ'd it. I really don't know. It's hard for me to tell without looking at it exactly. But if that seems a little bit too muddy, so go back and make sure to either fade out the tail a little bit more. But it does sound like a mixture of hardstyle and big house. It's a mixture of different. It sounds like a mixture of different genres. It doesn't sound like one genre. So maybe the kick is acceptable. It's hard to say. We may have time for one more. Mind Creator, thank you for sending in the track, man. Go to Facebook and share the stream for a chance to win EDM Effects 2017. This is the last track we will do for the day because I want to be able to get time for selecting a winner. I'm trying. This is the second time I'm trying it. I don't know what's going on, DJ Fiesta. This is the second link you've put in here. Whoa, nice. And my chat refreshed, and now I lost all the links that I was using before. I'm sad. All right, well. So YouTube did the same thing and decided to refresh my chat. So this is the last track now. DJ Fiesta, I apologize. I tried. That's the link that I selected the first time I copied and pasted, and it's not. I don't know if I'm doing the link wrong. I could be. If I am, apologize. Send it to me. I'll give you permission to send it to me via private message, and I'll review it then. All right. Only thing I have to fix is this introduction's a little too bland. Either slice it right here and cut this out, or add something more to that. The transition right here is a little too weird. It sounds like you didn't know what to do and you just kind of added a fill. Try to think of something unique to do there, especially since you're changing the drop into a part 2. Try to have some cool effect, and it would fill out that part really well. Your mix overall, your low is a little too rumbly. I don't know if it's your kick's tail that's a little rumbly, but it doesn't sound like you have enough low end to follow the kick as well. So what I would do is add some sub behind it. If you have sub there, maybe increase it a little bit more. It'd really drive the track, make it more fluid. Side shading's a little, and I've never said this before, maybe a little too harsh. Lower it down a little bit. I usually always say, hey, side shading's not harsh enough. Increase it a little bit, but that's not the case this time. It's a little too much. Maybe drop it down just a smidgen. Other than that, your melody's nice. Yeah, it just sounds like you put a snare fill in there. So maybe make sure to fill that fill up a little bit. With a transition, some sort of effect, some sort of cool, bring back maybe a tail end of something in here, in order to make that transition a little more fluent. Apologize. My voice is like, hey, stop talking. Other than that, your mix down wasn't that bad at all. Just fix your side shading, add some low end, and you should have and fix your transitions. You should have a pretty good track, man. Thank you for submitting the track. Head over to Facebook, share the stream. Last chance for a chance to win EDM 2017, guys. EDM FX 2017. My apologies. If a track was skipped today, apologize, especially on Facebook. On YouTube, there was no way except for the very end. This is the track that got put up because I was literally going in order from when I saw the links. So no one's track got skipped except for towards the very, 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 very end of the stream, like just this track, because YouTube refreshed my chat. On Facebook, a lot of people got skipped, and that's not. I don't know how to fix that. Facebook likes to refresh my chat all the time and delete a lot of links that were already there, and it kind of refreshes it to the newest comments. So a lot of people get skipped, and I can't stop it. Every time I click out of Facebook and go back to it, my chat refreshes. So we're looking for a better way to I'm trying to find shares. We're looking for a better way to receive tracks. Is this going to talk to me? Hope not. There it is. We're looking for a better way. We're probably going to do it through email. We're probably going to set up an email page, possibly, where you could basically go in, type your name, paste the track in there. It'll send to an email of mine. We'll probably end up creating specifically for live streams. Sorry, and they'll come through there. That way, they're going to be in order from when people send them. So there's no way to argue that I skipped your track. If I skipped your track, it'll be on purpose then. So let it pick its person. My chair is squeaking. It's going right now. The person that it picks, Roman will send you in a couple of hours. EDM Effects 2017, our newest pack that we released a couple days ago. Highly suggest using this pack a lot. We have a lot of good stuff inside of it. Is it gonna pick? Please. A lot of good stuff inside of it. So there's a lot of stuff you can use and a lot of stuff you can like mess with and stuff like that. So we'll let it do its thing. It'll pick, and in a couple of hours you should receive from Roman a message on Facebook. I will send him your details for Facebook, and he will message you with the pack and how to download it and everything like that. If you have any questions, you can feel free to message us through the Facebook. But yeah, guys, thank you guys for tuning in. I found this person. Wow, of course, DJ Fiesta. It picked you today. Actually, speaking of you, I want to apologize for your link not coming in. If I butchered it, that's my problem. If the link didn't come in, or maybe you posted it wrong, or it took down the track, again, apologies. I am going to send Roman your credentials. for this, and he will send you in a couple of hours. EDM Effects 2017, man. Congratulations. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for sharing. I will see you guys next Sunday. Come back with some awesome tracks. I actually didn't hear any tracks that had the acapella that I said to use last week. So if you guys have any tracks that you want to send in that have that acapella in it, come back next week. There'll probably be a post on Facebook if you guys follow us on there, or a post on Snapchat if you follow me on there, us on there. I'll let you guys know if we come up with a new way to send in tracks for live streams. It'll probably be somewhere through an email or something along that range. But you guys will be surely updated, and I will always update you in the beginning of the stream on how to send your tracks in. So thank you guys for tuning in today. It was great having you. I will see you guys next week, and have a good rest of your Sunday.